Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the World Health Network broadcast. My name is Ben Calderwood. For today's business spotlight, we're joined by Nicholas Downing of Downing Arts. Nick is a blacksmith and metalworker with a studio in Bodenham, Maine. Welcome to the broadcast, Nick. We're happy to have you.
Thanks. Happy to be here.
All right, so tell us more about yourself, about your business, and describe the COVID mitigation measures that you take.
Yeah, sure. Uh, as you mentioned, I'm a blacksmith and metalworker. I do a little bit of everything, mostly functional stuff. My main area of interest and expertise is in making tools, especially edge tools. And as far as the COVID mitigations, um, I have been and continue to work by myself. The majority of the COVID mitigation that I have done is, put a do not disturb and, by appointment only sign on my shop door and turn down a bunch of teaching gigs.
Uh, I, let's talk a little bit more about, what being an independent artisan is like, during the pandemic. I think both sort of for you personally and from a business perspective as well.
Sure. Um, so, I mean, it's my passion. It is something that I absolutely love. Um, and as far as being an independent artist and how that sort of fits in with the pandemic, I was working part-time for a company in South Portland forging axes, and enjoyed it, but my partner has some health issues, and um, so I was trying to keep my distance from the other employees, and I was going in weird hours and working really long days, and that just sort of became too much to handle. And I had been blacksmithing pretty seriously for 7 or 8 years, and had been selling work, and it seemed like a really good time to jump into the deep end, and I'm really glad I did, because it's been great, and I feel very fortunate that I can work by myself and pursue something that I really enjoy as much as I do. And you know it was hard and it was scary and it was a lot at the beginning of the pandemic, and continues to still be trying at times and frustrating. But as I said, I feel really, really glad that I'm able to do it.
I mean, obviously, you spoke about your partner who has some health concerns and, just about, I think to some extent, the challenges of going solo on your own in terms of doing this sort of work. Are there other sort of challenges that you could describe? Are there other sort of successes that you could describe from making that change in the pandemic era?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they're huge challenges. I moved my shop, which I think would be no small feat for anyone. But when you
Hmm.
have pieces of equipment that weigh, 1,500 pounds,
Wow.
it's a lot. There's a lot of logistics that go into that, and fortunately, I had some good help on both ends, and people that were understanding, and didn't mind that I sounded like an adult in a Peanuts cartoon because I was talking through a full cartridge respirator. So that's been a challenge. As I mentioned, having to give up teaching has been a huge challenge because it's something that I really enjoyed and it's something that I really miss. Um, I know it's hard because I had classes scheduled and I had to, tell the institutions that I couldn't do it. And if things get substantially better, I hope it's something that I can return to, and I hope I haven't burned any bridges. But I guess time will tell. Other challenges are just like, sometimes it's really granular stuff. Like if I make something for someone and they want to come pick it up in person, then, I have to either say like no, or, you know, yes, as long as you understand that it'll be brief outdoors and masked. Or even just little things as simple as like if I break a drill bit, I can't run down to the hardware store to get a new one. I have to order it online and wait for it to show up in a day or two.
Hmm. Hmm.
But as far as success is just, the confidence of knowing that I can do this. that I can make a modest living, pursuing my passion. I mean, I don't know of a better success than that.
I have no follow-up for that. That is 100% true. Tell us a little bit about how your client base has responded to you continuing to maintain COVID precautions in this way.
Sure. So for the most part, people have been really understanding. Um, it's helpful. It's helpful that a lot of what I do is relatively small. Um, you know, Prior to moving to my shop in Bodenham, I worked with a blacksmith in Portland who did a lot of architectural work. And, if you're trying to build a railing for some interior stairs, obviously you have to go into someone's space and you have to spend a lot of time there taking measurements and, planning your attack. And that just really wasn't feasible for me. And so, I've had to turn down some pretty big, some pretty lucrative, some pretty good jobs, because I wasn't able to go and spend time in people's spaces. So, you know, so I guess those are clients that I didn't have. Those are clients that I pursued and it didn't work out. But for the most part, people have been really understanding, which is great.
All right. So once again, we've been speaking today with Nicholas Downing from Downing Arts in Bodenham, Maine. Nick, I got to thank you for joining us today and sharing your experience, talking about how you operate your business in the pandemic era. Before we go, where can people find you? And do you have anything else you'd like to share?
Yeah, sure. So if you are in the market for some custom-made ironwork, some handmade axes or spatulas or whatever suits your fancy, you can find me at downingarts.com. I'm also at Downing Arts on Etsy and also Smith and Kitchen on Etsy,
Hmm.
and also Downing Arts on Facebook.
Excellent.
And as far as other things to say, just I don't know, probably most of the folks that are watching this understand that there's still a pandemic out there, and I don't know, just understand that your reality is maybe not the only reality. I try not to judge folks too harshly that are keeping on, and I hope they do the same for me.
Excellent. All right. Thanks again, Nick. You can find Nicholas Downing at downingarts.com, so at Downing Arts on Etsy. And you can learn more about the work that we do at the World Health Network at whn.global. We're a global community working to end the pandemic as a global health threat. We hope you'll visit the website and consider joining. Thanks so much. We will see you at the next broadcast. Thanks, Nick.
Thank you.